Welcome to Talking Clean, the podcast where we will break down clean energy and healthy living into simple, everyday habits that can save you money and protect our community. I'm your host, Dr. Mary House, and I want to share with you why this is so important to me. Being raised in a poor neighborhood in Detroit, where resources and information about creating a healthier and cleaner place to live, it was not a conversation. We were just concentrating on surviving, just like some of you. So as I became an adult, my curiosity began to explore the many concerns of why things weren't like they should be. So in this journey, I began to find out what was not happening in underserved communities of color all across America as it pertains to this topic. And I discovered we just weren't exposed to nor given the resources and information needed to create a healthier and cleaner home. Now, fast forward, I knew I had to be a voice crying in the wilderness for people who looked like me. And out of this cry, this podcast was birthed. And together, we're going to explore practical tips, local resources, and inspiring stories that empower our families and communities to live cleaner, greener, and healthier lives. So whether you're looking to cut down your utility bills or make a difference in your neighborhood, you are in the right place. Well, I want to welcome you. Today I have Steve Arrigo, right? And he's the Community Relations Manager from Republic Service. And I am just super excited about today. And I really hope, as we talk, that you start sharing this because it's going to be an amazing podcast today. So now, Steve, Republic Services has become a national leader in sustainability. Can you tell us a little bit about your company's initiatives here in Nevada?
Yes, and nice to meet you, by the way. We're big on sustainability, and for years we were known as the trash company, right?
Yes.
You see our trucks go by, say, there's the trash company. But several years ago, we tried to change that culture and try to change that perspective within the company itself and in the communities that we serve, and become more of a sustainability company, more of an environmental solutions company.
Yes.
So that's really what we focus on is sustainability. Yes, we're the trash company, but we're also the recycling company. So we do a lot with that, and that's why we do so many community events. That's why I'm very thankful for this opportunity to speak with your community out there and let them know that we really are about sustainability and environmental solutions. And those initiatives that we have, it's just a lot of education.
Yes.
A lot of education within the community.
You know what? Steve is making such a viable point, and I wanted to share with you that if you all didn't know that Republic Services moved to an whole electric fleet, and an electric car, just so you know, it's a vehicle, is better for the climate and can save owners thousands and thousands of dollars. The study from Atlas Public Policy showed that every major vehicle type owning an electric vehicle can save the owners money over 7 years, because that's the average amount of time people really keep a car. And I have, an electric car, so I've had an electric car pre-COVID. So I really understand the sustainability, but also the environmental aspect of an electric car. And I'm so proud of you guys for doing that. It just speaks volume. When you think of trash, you don't think of sustainability and you don't think of, energy efficiency. But you guys have really changed that, and I want to commend that company for that. So let me ask you a question. What types of careers do Republic Service offer, and how do those roles contribute to the sustainability goals?
Got to backtrack just for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
Because with the electric vehicles, we don't have those in our market. Okay. Those electric vehicles at that level, with that weight and what they go through, there's certain guidelines that they have to really meet, and extreme heat or extreme cold are two climates that don't do well for
Oh,
electric vehicles.
okay.
So throughout the company, we're in 47 states, right? We have 40,000 employees. We'll talk about the careers.
Sure.
So there are many of our locations throughout the country that have implemented electric vehicles. For sustainability purposes here, about a third of our fleet, we have over 300 trucks. So about a third of those are CNG, right? Compressed natural gas. So we do that. That helps a lot more than the fossil fuel, the regular diesel engines and stuff like that. So I just want to clarify that.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
So careers. Okay, I'm going to tell on myself.
Tell
Okay,
on
I'm
yourself,
telling
brother.
myself.
Tell it on it.
You know, I'm almost embarrassed. I wish I would have known, right? And this gets back to, you see, Republic Services Trash Company, right?
Right.
So I've been with the company for about 12 and a half years. And the way I got in, I met a gentleman who worked for the company, said, if you're ever interested in working for us, you know, here's my card to go to the website, let me know. And I thought, okay, well, I've been in sales all my life, so I thought, okay, well, you know, trash company sales, I didn't get it. I didn't get it, right? And then the first time I went on the website to the career page, I saw these different jobs. And it's like, there's a sales job? you know, and then of course I got in and I learned more about it.
Yes.
And so the point is, a lot of people still relate Republic Services with a trash company, and that's all, right? And again, telling myself that's what I thought, but you know, we have HR, right? You have to have HR. If you're a company, right? We're a Fortune 100 company, right? We're publicly
You're what?
traded.
You're a Fortune 100.
100,
Go on and talk about it.
Did I show my age?
Yes,
Did I show
you
my
did.
age?
Yes, you did.
Sorry. Well, all right. Well, we could delete that maybe. But,
Talk about it.
but you know, we have HR.
Yes.
We have sales. We have communications team. We have marketing. We have operations, right? The trucks, we have drivers, but then you have the operations supervisors, you have the operations managers, you have general managers, you have all the support staff, you have facilities, you have maintenance, we have mechanics, we have welders for the containers and for fixing everything. And I mean, it goes on and on and on. And we actually, at a lot of events that we do, we made up like a poster board thing that lists the careers that we have.
Yes.
I think there's got to be 35 or 40 different categories
Really?
of careers that we offer. And again, that's why I appreciate this opportunity to let people know, because I didn't know that.
Right.
And a lot of people, they don't, a lot of people come to it, I always hear, is Republic Services hiring? Is Republic Services hiring? And my answer is, we're pretty much always
yeah,
hiring.
right.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
You know, and then I start talking to people about the different positions. And of course, the most popular one are drivers and things like that. But it's just amazing. If you take any other company out there and think about the complexity of what it takes to manage a company and apply that to us, it's the same thing.
Yes.
And so we're pretty big on that. So, and we love hiring from within. We love going out in the community and getting people to come in. It's a great company. So anytime somebody says, you know, I've been trying to get in, I say, well, keep trying.
Okay, that's good. Now, what's your website? Go look in the camera and tell them what's the website.
www.republicservices.com, and you'll scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you'll see careers. And you click on that, and that will take you to another page, and you could then filter it down. We're in 47 states, so maybe you want to relocate eventually, or maybe you're watching and you don't live here now. But you could filter what job you're looking for, what area you're looking for, what category you're looking for. You could say operations supervisor, or you could say driver, or you could say any position.
Right.
And you could narrow it down to North Las Vegas, Henderson, Las Vegas, you know, Norfolk, Virginia.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, and it'll give you the jobs that are open at those locations, and it's always changing. And the cool thing too is that people could set up for an alert. So when a job might not be posted now, but when that job gets available, they'll send that person an email saying, hey, you know, and I suggest people do that because these jobs go quick.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, when I applied for my job, they cut off the applications at 300.
Oh, my.
and we get a job out there, we'll get 40, 50, 60 applications within the first couple of days, and then we shut it down. And then we go through those, right, because you have to sort through those.
Sure.
And then if we don't find anybody qualified, which is rare from that many,
Right.
then we'll reopen it. But it is hard. I know people say, I've been trying for 10 years to get into Republic Services.
Wow.
I've applied 3 or 4 times, and it is hard, but I tell people it's worth the effort, because once you get in, you know, we have a great culture, we have a great team of people that we work with and work for, we pay well, the benefits are phenomenal, and the company really believes in that work-life balance.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of PTO, and we're encouraged to take that time off.
Wow. You know what? I hope you guys are hearing this, and we're talking about green jobs, you know, or clean jobs. And Republic Services is a clean company. It's a green company. They're sustainable, right? And, you know, Steve made it very, very clear. They're in multiple states. And so if Nevada's not working for you, right? You know, you're sitting here, you're watching, but you can go on and filter it to what states that have the particular position that you're looking for, and maybe if it's meant for you, I just believe it's meant for you, right? And just apply. Whatever you do is called be consistent. And I think when we talk about jobs, Steve, when you said, you know, people say I've been trying and trying and trying, but sometimes they're not consistent. And I think there's so
Exactly
there's
right.
so much in, I'm going to stay with this. Yeah, I got this job, but I'm going to stay with this until I get it. And you know what? I believe prayer works. That's a whole nother story. But you know what? Pray on it. And keep applying, and if it's meant, it will happen.
I totally believe it.
So now, how is Republic Services helping employees up their skills in operations in waste management area?
So we do a lot of training.
Yeah.
We do a lot of training. We do a lot of onboarding. But I was thinking about this question actually this morning, so I was going through our website and things like that. And internally, we have what's called the Learning Center. And in the Learning Center, you could take a tremendously wide range of courses, online courses that are free, that will then go into your profile. You could add them to your profile. So if anybody else in the company is looking for a candidate or anything like that, it kind of like adds your resume. And it could be in leadership. It could be in ethics. It can be in HR. It could be in sales. You take any category of a position, and we have
a plethora.
I was going to say that. I didn't want to show my age again. I was afraid. But
See, you're not showing your age. Okay? It's me and you talking right here. Okay, so, they just get to listen in.
Okay. So we have. So it's crazy how many.
Oh, wow.
So you can do that on your own. You know, there's no cost.
Right.
You know, you do it on your own time, of course, right? So we encourage that. We encourage that, and a lot of people get promoted from within because they have built their resume, so to speak, up while they're working.
You know, I used to work for, and I was younger back then, obviously. I was out of high school, but I worked for Northrop Aircraft, and Northrop had classes that you can take. Right. And if you took those classes or whatever, you could learn. And back then, computers were just kind of coming out, and they had on the executive floor, they had some computers that were like in the lobby, and they had the manuals, and they told the employees, if you want to go up and you want to learn, you go, you know, up there and do it. Now this is what's crazy, because this is what I love what you just said about the public service. So because it was on the executive floor, that's before all this online stuff, y'all are privileged, okay? I literally would spend my lunch hour, and I would go up to that floor, and I'd pull out that manual, and I'd open up that computer, I'd turn it on, and I went page by page, and I followed instructions. I didn't know the vice president was watching me. And to fast forward, I learned everything I'm on. And again, it didn't go on my resume because it wasn't something that they did, but they just provided that skill. But there was an opportunity that came up where it allowed me. The vice president was looking for me, and he was like, because I had went off for a minute, and he was looking for me, and they found me, and he said you can come back on your own terms, because he watched how you did your self-learning. And so I'm going to say this: when you work with a company, and you get a company like this, and they offer you free training, and it's going to improve you and work you up, you have and move you up with benefits. When you take initiatives to educate yourself and to better yourself, people watch that. And they're looking for an employee like you, and then you get the benefits, and you said then they give you PTO, and and tell you, take that doggone PTO, because some people at PTO accumulate.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh my God! You've got one life to live.
473 days.
And what does that mean?
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. And so, you need to live your life. And I think if nothing else, if we've learned, I think in this season that we're in, is life. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So if you've got some PTO, use it, okay, and move on.
Well, I want to touch on something you said.
What you got?
You never know who's looking.
You never know.
You never know who's looking. And that's the lesson in everything we just talked about on that part, is you never know who's looking. And you didn't know that vice president was looking. And same thing with us, or whatever job you're in. If your company offers that opportunity, it always pays to do the right thing. And it always pays to improve
and you
yourself.
never can go wrong. Improving yourself is never the wrong thing to do. Right. Improving yourself. And to me, that's sustainability all by itself. Because you know what? I have this saying, when you put something in this brain that God gave you, it's in there forever. You just have to know how to tap into the resource.
That's right.
But your job is to load the computer.
That's right. And it's kind of funny.
What you got?
Because you said that's sustainability right there.
Yes.
And it's kind of because, right, so another word for recycling, some people you call it repurposing, right? And it's kind of funny because the image I got is like when you're putting that knowledge in your head, you're allowing yourself to be repurposed. Like, say, if somebody takes you from this job to this job, or from this, to that, because you have that training, because you took that time, you're now being repurposed for this.
Oh, Steve, you all right with me, Steve?
Sorry about AI.
Steve is all right. Okay, let me just say that. Now, Steve, how do you collaborate with community partners like myself and agencies like Workforce Connection to build a stronger working pipeline?
We're very involved in the community. We have a lot of great community partners like Sumney Marketing, Shondell. Shondell is relentless.
Isn't he relentless?
Bad brother.
Yeah, he is.
He's a bad dude. And we have a lot of different partners in the community that we work with, and City of Las Vegas, Second Chances, Hope for Prisoners.
Yes, John Ponder. Yes,
John Ponder.
I know who he is.
Yeah, John Ponder's a
amazing.
great man. So we make ourselves available to them. We support them in a lot of the adventures, a lot of adventures that they do, a lot of their events, a lot of their programs that they do. I'm very, very fortunate, very blessed to not only be in the role that I'm in, but have the leadership. My area president and area vice president are both great men, and they believe in serving this community, and we take it to heart. You know what I mean? And I've been in Vegas since 1970, so this is my community.
Yes.
And getting to work for a company where we can partner up with different organizations and have a path for people that can come into a working position that they may never have thought they'd ever have.
Yeah.
And, like I said, once you're in, you're in. 3 rules. 3 rules of the company.
What you got?
This is what they told me when I got hired.
Number 1?
Don't piss off the customer.
Look in the camera and say that.
Don't piss off the customer.
Come on. Number 2.
Don't piss off a coworker. And number 3, just don't do or say anything inappropriate. And you could stay and work as long as you want.
Wow.
Literally. You have to do your job,
basically,
obviously.
Don't be pissing people off.
Right. And again, going back to, if you're just a good person, right, and you just do what you're supposed to do, and so to have the opportunity in the community, you're killing me, Mary, you're killing me over here. Trying to get back on track.
Go ahead, Steve. We're having a conversation, and you guys are invited into our conversation here. And Steve and I are having a wonderful time. Go on and finish telling me about it.
So just like getting back to the community partners that we have, I have the best job in the company, if you ask me.
Yeah.
because I get to do stuff like this, and I get to be out in the community, and we do a lot of events. We work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. To list them, it'd be too many, but
Sure.
some
Amazing
some
ones,
entities out there. I don't know if you're familiar with the Cupcake Girls. I always try to shout
absolutely.
them out.
I know who
Asia
they are.
Duncan and Amy. She left, but they got a new gal there. But she's a good girl, a good woman, and so we've supported them. You know, we work with big organizations like the United Way. So we go from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Okay.
You know, somebody that deals like in human trafficking
Yes.
that hardly anybody knows about, but is so necessary.
Absolutely.
So necessary. To someone like the United Way that everybody knows about.
Right.
You know, hey, you know, United Way. So we try to cover as much, and we have this philosophy, kind of this internal philosophy that, because Republic Services, everybody knows and believes that we have deep pockets, right? We're a big company, and we do a lot, but our attitude is we're not going to give a big check to any one organization per se, because we'd rather take that and split that out over 5 or 10 organizations,
Sure.
so we can touch more of the community, because there's a lot of hurt out there.
Absolutely. Then my question is, for my residents listening, what can they do to support
I know where you're
Service?
going. I know where you're going. I read this question. Recycle tips, right? And making
Whatever you want to tell us, I'm gonna let you tell me whatever. I didn't even jump in, did I? Did I even give you anything? I just said, Steve, we're having a conversation. You just trying to put words in my mouth.
You
right?
just start a question and I'll finish it.
You just did that, like you my husband. You ain't my husband.
Because I was excited about that. So just so you know, we went over some questions. I did get a preview of the questions, and this one is probably the one I'm maybe the most excited about.
Gonna get excited about this question.
Okay. So here's the thing. Right?
You weren't ready for me, were you, Steve?
Part of that question is contamination.
Yes.
Right? And so at our recycle center, it's capable of doing so much more than what we are able to actually do. And we don't have to go into numbers, because the numbers are 1,000 tons a day. I mean, it's ridiculous, so I don't want to lose people and trying to wrap their head around the sheer volume of it. But because of contamination, a couple of misconceptions, because I've heard this. I still hear it today.
Yeah.
You guys don't really recycle. You know, I see the same truck, picks up the trash or picks up the recycle. Well, no. You know, well, it might be the same truck, but that would be after it's dumped out, cleaned out, and stuff like that. But our trucks look alike. So if you look at the truck number, you'll see it's an absolutely different truck, because we have trash routes, we have recycle routes.
Right.
But the misconception, one of them, is that if you put the recycle in the trash, don't worry about it, Republic Services will sort it out. We don't do that. If you put the recyclables in the trash, it's going to the landfill. Okay. Now, on the other side of that, if you put trash or contaminated items in the recycle, that we have to sort out. And that's what slows the process down, right? So picture this. A truck goes through your neighborhood.
Right.
Dumps the recycle truck, dumps everything. And then there is a bunch of contaminated stuff, right? But we don't know that, because the driver's inside the truck and he's dumping it. We go to the recycle center, dump it on the tipping floor, right? And from there, as we're putting it into the system, that's when we have to start sorting the trash out. And that slows the process down, because we have to pick that out by hand. Oftentimes there's things in there that cause the machine to shut down or clog up, so we have to shut it down, and that slows the process down. So there's a lot of misconceptions about what is recyclable. Now, I'll tell you, this is what's recyclable, okay? It might be a hard line, but what determines whether something is recyclable or not is whether there's a market for that for resale, because recycling is a commodity.
Okay.
Right? Paper, plastic, cardboard, aluminum, tin, and glass, right? Those are commodities in our market.
Yes.
So if you don't have a buyer for one of those commodities, that's not recyclable.
It's not recyclable. Okay.
Now, what's recyclable in another area or another state might not be recyclable here. So we always encourage people, when you relocate or if you're going to move out, go find out who the local hauler is, go to the website or make a phone call and say, what is recyclable here? Okay. And so that's a big piece of that.
Yeah.
Because we want people to recycle the right items. The other part of it is this is what we call wish cycling. I wish this was recyclable. Hey, look, this is glass. Glass is recyclable. Well, not this glass. Okay?
Right.
So there's certain things. So with glass, if a food product or a drink product, like a food or drink came in it, then it's recyclable. But like glasses or plates, things like that, that's produced at a different temperature. So that's not recyclable.
Wow.
Okay. So the good way to think about it is food or drink came in it, it's recyclable. Okay. Plastic bags aren't recyclable anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now I just learned something.
Well,
Because I've been putting my plastic bags in the recyclable bin.
You're the one.
I'm the
All right,
one.
Security. Where's security? I knew
I
that.
am the one. I'm guilty.
Well,
I'm guilty.
well, you're
Well,
not
I won't
alone.
be guilty alone. I
You're
won't
not
be by
alone.
myself. I'm gonna make that change today.
And that's another part of educating the
Yes.
community, right?
Serious.
The other thing too, people still put their recyclables in plastic bags. Well, if you want to do that because you want to make it nice and neat and orderly, that's fine. But don't tie it shut. Because if you keep it open, when it gets in the truck, it's going to all come out. But we don't want to have to open up the bag when it gets to the recycle center. If it doesn't bust open in the truck and it gets to the recycle center and it goes through the line in a bag, it's going to get thrown away as trash. Because we don't know what's in there.
Right.
We don't know what's in there. And if you're recycling properly, empty, clean, and dry, then your recycling shouldn't be all smelly or wet or messed up anyway. So you really don't need to bag it, right? Because it's not going to dirty your can.
Right.
So that's a big part of it. It's just the education piece to it. Water bottles. Water bottles are a big thing, right?
Right.
So I used to just, because I camp a lot, right? So you're camping, do you ever do this? Take the cap off, squish all the air out of it, put the cap back on, and now your water bottle is like this big. Did you ever do that? No. Is it? Somebody out there has
I know
done
somebody
that, right?
does
Did
it, but I didn't do it.
But
That's not.
so the recycle center, it's fiber optics, and so we program it in to say, okay, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a water bottle. So when it shoots out a laser and say, okay, that's not a water bottle, because it knows a water bottle to be like this.
Wow.
If there's a little water in it, the weight of it will be different. So we say that's not a water bottle. But also the label around the plastic, around the bottle, that's a number 4 plastic. Now I know it's a little technical, but that's number 4 plastic. We don't take number 4. So if that label becomes more than 50% of the surface area of that bottle, it's going to kick it back and saying that's number 4 plastic. We don't take that. So there's a lot of actual recyclables that are getting kicked out as trash because we're not recycling them properly. And that's another big piece.
Yeah. You know what? I hope you guys are like, I just learned a whole bunch from Steve right now. And I got to go home and change stuff. Okay? I mean, seriously.
One more.
What you got? Steve said he got one more.
One more. How are we on time? We'll get on time?
Come on. You good. You good.
Pizza box, yes or no, recyclable?
No.
Why?
It's got food in it.
Okay.
Well, it has the oil, I'm thinking, from the pizza.
Part right, half right. Trick question. Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
It
So
is.
you supposed to say yes, Mary. He didn't tell me I was right.
Fooled her. So if you notice, a lot of pizza companies now, they perforate the top of the box. So if you look at it, there's a perforation.
Right, yeah.
Because the top is recyclable.
You better get out of my town.
Now think about this.
So,
Now think about
Steve, you making us work for the doggone recycle. Jesus Christ, nobody gonna do that.
Oh yeah, they will.
They gonna throw it away.
No, they won't.
They gonna throw it away.
Well, stop.
What?
Don't throw it away. I have all your address. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
You know what?
Don't wanna put that out
Steve is
there.
putting a demand on us. Okay, let me stop here. You know, because I know I said I'm going to throw it away. But on a serious note, we're talking about sustainability and saving our planet and clean energy. Take the time. Can I say this?
Yes.
Take the time.
This is how much time it takes. Ta-da! How long did that take? Or scissors?
Longer than most people want to do. Because you know what?
but I
People
gotta
who
make a
eat
point.
pizza, wait, first of all, people who eating pizza is not considered about taking the top off. And they're like, people who eat pizza, they're just hungry, right? They're not considering the recyclable part. But on a serious note, when you're eating a pizza, I hope you're watching this and what Steve and stop and say, you know what? After I consume the pizza, I'm gonna tear the top off. It takes all of 2-3 seconds, and that top now becomes recyclable.
Right.
Am I correct?
You are correct, because this is an educated audience. If they're watching you, then they're an educated audience, right?
They're watching because they want to learn.
Right. So I like numbers. Numbers are powerful.
Yes, they
right?
are.
So think about this. We'll do this quickly and be a rough guesstimate, right?
Okay.
2.7 million people in Las Vegas. Let's call it 3 million because it's easier math. Okay.
Sure.
Let's say 25% of those people like pizza. Okay. No, we know more, but let's go on the low side. That's 750,000 people, right? Let's say average family is 4. Let's say 5, because 75 into 5 is easier math. Okay, that's 15,000 households, let's say. If those households each order 1 pizza a month, that's 15,000 pizza box tops that could be recycled properly. Now think about that. How much room would 15,000 pizza boxes, just the tops, take, right? Conversely, if you're putting that all in the landfill, that's a lot that's going to the landfill, right? Now, if you're throwing the whole thing in because you're recycling wrong, then that's contamination, then it gets kicked out anyway. But for taking, like you said, those 2 or 3 seconds and doing it the right way and being environmentally responsible and sustainability minded,
right?
Now, that's a huge impact on our environment, right?
Amen, Steve. You know what? Steve is gonna make me go home. I promise you. Not make me, but and I want to just really get a little serious about what he just said. Can you imagine 15,000 pizza box tops and what the landfill looks like? Which means, what is it doing to our environment? And we're talking about being healthier, and I was talking about environment justice on one of my other episodes. And these are the kind of things that we need to just be mindful of, because this is the earth we live in. We've got one. God's not making another earth. Let's be clear. And how we handle it is huge. And I love that Republic Service is very mindful of, what you should do. And I've just been educated. I don't know if you've been educated, but I've been very educated on this particular podcast. And I hope that you take this and you run with it. My call to action, if I had a call to action to give you right now, I'm gonna give you one. And that is, when you order pizza, because most people are ordering pizza, that you stop and take that box top off and put it in the recyclable bin, and then consume the pizza. Because it's gonna be gone anyway after everybody gets a slice or 2 out. However, remember that. And know that you are reducing the landfills that are being filled with unnecessary boxes. Steve, what would you like to say finally to our audience in your closing?
I get emotional about that, right?
Yeah.
So, a couple of things. So, it doesn't take much more time to do the right thing and do it properly. You can go to Republic Services of Southern Nevada, our recycle center. We give free tours of our recycle center.
Wow.
5-year age minimum. We can tour up to 43 people at a time. We do Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. We do schools. We do different organizations. We do homeschooling. We do a lot. I think this year already, or last month, we already reached over 2,000 people have come through the recycle center. So it's a great opportunity to really see and see it firsthand. Or you can go to recyclingsimplified.com. So that's easy, recyclingsimplified.com, and that'll teach you a lot about recycling. There's a lot of recycle tips. We have a whole education program for teachers from kindergarten through 12th grade
Wow.
that they can actually do in the classroom.
That is
So-
amazing.
so-
Steve, thank you so
you,
very
Dr.
much.
Mary.
I want to say I hope you enjoyed this podcast today and share it with a friend. This was very, very, very educational. And I hope that some of you not just take my call to action, but also for those who are in school, ask your teachers about doing a tour, of the recycling center, or go on their website yourself and learn some more about how you can be sustainable. And again, Steve, thank you. I want to thank my audience again just for being a part of Talking Clean. This has been an amazing journey for me. And so I want you to stay tuned and I want you to come back for the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Talking Clean with Dr. Mary House. Remember, every small step towards cleaner living adds up to a big difference for your home, your wallet, and our community. So if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a friend, and connect with us online for more clean energy resources. Just remember to think green and keep talking clean.